Hello and welcome to this yet another brand new episode on One India, where we discuss how the possible steps and the futuristic measures taken by the Narendra Modi government is shaping the days to come, the years to come. One crucial aspect is that of the Russia-Ukraine war and how Russia very recently and now Italy has said that it's India which can play the peacenikes role, and it's Prime Minister Modi who speaks freely with all the three of them, Russia, Ukraine, and the United States. One key aspect, as I mentioned, is oil, which India has been a recipient from the Russian side, and urea, obviously, again, a recipient from both Ukraine and Russia. How has India managed this, and what is the price that India is paying for it? To discuss that further, we are joined by Ravi Srivastava, former chief manager of HPCL, also known as Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited. Ravi sir, thank you so much for taking time out on a Sunday morning for us.
Thank you, Pankaj ji.
Thank you, sir.
You have rightly said the oil and the urea, where majority of the subsidies were going from the pocket of the government. The fact remains is, since 2001, when the APM, Administered Price Mechanism, was added to the fuel price, the subsidies have drastically come down.
Okay.
At present, the subsidy is only to some extent on LPG and to some extent on kerosene. As far as diesel and the petrol prices are concerned, they are totally deregulated, and the government has got no say. It says so that they have got no say, but the fact is, instead of administered price mechanism, now it has become MDPM. They call it market determined price mechanism. I call it minister determined price mechanism. So it is decided, everything is decided in the Shastri Bhavan only, that who will charge what price, etc., etc. The prices were deregulated officially, but the fact is that the prices are still determined by the government only. And the objective is that the private players should not exploit the consumer and the prices remain under check. We have got a private player there. Earlier there was SR, now Reliance is still there into existence, who are a private player selling it. Nayara Energy is there. XR converted to Nayara Energy. So they are also in the market. So these are certain things. I was talking about excise duty. The excise duty, a huge amount of excise duty is recovered by the government, which was erstwhile government was taking some 9 rupees a liter on petrol. Now this government recovers 32 rupees a liter on petrol, and a huge duty on diesel as well, which makes the price, the pump price, very high. We all pay approximately, most of the cities, the petrol is 100 rupees plus, and the diesel also is some 90 rupees plus. Everywhere, barring your Delhi, where you get slightly cheaper fuel. So the fact is that this money was recovered, and the government said that they are going to utilize this money for infrastructure development, the government schemes, all those things they have happened. But as rightly mentioned, there has not been much of the job creation, which is India's biggest problem, I would say, as of now, where the graduates, postgraduates applying for the post of a sweeper and all that. Now let us come down to the international scenario. You may recall India's, when Shri Modi took over, India's dependence on foreign crude oil was approximately 82%. And we were producing our own by OIL and the ONGC, approximately 18% of the crude was produced by us. As far as LPG is concerned, it was a 50-50, and we were importing a lot of LPG since then, and we are selling it here. Now, as far as the dependence is concerned, the worst part is that today we are dependent to the extent of 88% on the foreign crude, and a huge amount of foreign exchange goes out for buying the crude oil from foreign countries. The only silver lining is that I would say that they came to the advantage of India. The Russia-Ukraine war, the Russia is supplying a lot of crude oil to India, and that is relatively cheaper if India buys from US, Venezuela, or Middle East. So that comes relatively at a lower price, and therefore we were able to save some of the foreign currency as well.
Right,
Now,
sir.
here the issue is Modi ji went to Ukraine, Modi ji went to US also, and he has been bargaining with those countries to accept a payment of crude oil in rupee terms, which those countries have unfortunately not agreed to. So still the settlement is in ruble or in dollar with the country,
US and
Russia, which is supplying the crude to us.
right.
Now, as far as India's position is concerned, the government has been making a good effort to shift from petrol fuels, to the alternate sources of energy. May it be thermal, may it be atomic, may it be windmill, may it be solar. They are making a big effort in that direction, and which has yielded result also. So the India's dependence upon the petrol fuels has been almost, I would not call it stagnant, but it is going at a very low pace. I mean, the rise is very limited, and sometimes you will find the petrol diesel sales are even lower than the previous year in some cases. Sometimes it goes up. These are all seasonal factors. And the rising production of the automobiles is also a contributor to this aspect of motor fuel consumption going up. Otherwise, you will find that the electric vehicles are being given a lot of incentives, and the lot of electric vehicles are also being sold in the country. The buses, which were the big consumer, are being changed to the electric, and many you would recall even that a lot of diesel locomotives which were consuming fairly good amount of diesel, now those are running on electric.
Right.
Problem with the government on this part is, despite the crude oil prices lowering down, it has now come down to below $70 a barrel now. You have seen yesterday, day before. The government is still continuing to recover a huge amount of excise duty on motor fuels, which is just not right thing to do, because the consumption of the diesel contributes a lot to the overall economic prosperity of the nation. You take it logistics, you take it motor fuels, you take it gensets, where all diesel is consumed. The high prices are a detriment, and there has been a very strong voices coming out from the opposition to bring down the prices of motor fuel, like petrol and the diesel. And then in the last few days or week, I have heard that the government is giving a now serious thought to it to bring down the prices of motor fuels, petrol, and the diesel.
Right.
So if that happens, I think it will be positive for the industry and the people at large. Yeah.
Right. Mr. Srivastava, also talking about how Prime Minister Modi's diplomacy has helped in order to bring economy, or at least keep the economy on track as far as the procurement of oil from Russia was concerned. In your opinion, do you think that this is a victory for Modi's diplomacy, and in times of war, when everything is going sky high, Prime Minister Modi has managed to at least give those subsidies on oil or other products and keep the prices under check, no matter it is becoming costly in the global market?
Pankaj ji, I would definitely put a good word as far as Mr. Modi's diplomacy is concerned. He has been talking to USSR. He has been visiting over there. He has been having a direct interaction with them. And as far as the foreign minister is concerned, he has also been talking to them. So I think the government has done a reasonably good job as far as the import of crude oil from Russia is concerned. And I think during this situation, if this continues, India will be definitely benefited. The best part would have been had they accepted the payment of the crude oil in the rupee terms instead of ruble or dollar. I think that would have been a real big benefit for India. So, but this is all, Pankaj ji, coming at a, with diplomacy is such a thing that you make the good relations with one person, the other person naturally gets annoyed. So your dependence on Russia is not seen very favorably as far as the American bloc is concerned or the Middle East is concerned. So these things have got their own price. But what Mr. Modi has done in the interest of his nation, his country, to get a cheaper crude oil and benefit the citizens at large. Now, my only request is that these prices, the retail prices, which are the big deterrent of the people, must be brought down so that the inflation also gets controlled, because this diesel transportation for logistics, for gensets, for the tractors, all these things contribute to the rising inflation as well. So this should be brought under control.
Under control. Definitely. Mr. Srivastava, we have seen that many smaller economies or mid-sized economies have been hit hard as far as their dependence on the Russian and the Ukrainian supply was concerned. The global supply chain was also hit because of this war. India has been putting the money in a way which was meant for other welfare activities, social welfare activities, developmental work, to this side of oil procurement. Although there are subsidies, definitely the prices have been kept under check even after the war started. Do you think that we can cut the Modi government some slack if it is found wanting, say if a bridge is not completed, say if uh, there has been a lack of developmental work. Do you think that the monetary aspect stops you from doing these works?
It happens sometimes because artificially, if you try to control the prices by bringing down the excise duty or by controlling those taxes, it's not a good thing for to stabilize the economy. Right now, India's economy is on a very sound footing. You can say your foreign reserve is rising. You are a fifth biggest economy in the world, but of course, your per capita is on 129th on the world map. But then these are the things which ultimately bring prosperity to the people of the nation. So the government must see to it that their balance is exercised. It does not happen that the by bringing down the prices, the economy goes out of hand, or prices of the other commodities shoot up, or the infrastructure development. A lot of infrastructure development has taken place in last 10 years. A lot of highways have been built up, a lot of bridges and structures and institutions. The work has been done. So for that, if the money is needed, there some people must sacrifice some of their what you call comforts for this. So I think they are in the right direction. They are working it. But yes, I would definitely, as a oil person, I would definitely appeal to the government that the retail prices should be checked so that people life becomes comfortable. That's the need of the hour. Yeah.
One final question, Mr. Srivastava, before I let you go. It's a bigger scenario here. You spoke about inflation. Do you think that inflation is directly linked to the oil price hikes and how the Modi government has had to prioritize fuel subsidies? Do you think that was something that remains to be checked?
As far as subsidies are concerned, this government has done a reasonably good job. I would say from the very beginning, since they came into power, I think they have done a good job, and they have brought down the subsidies to a very great extent. Subsidies are inevitable. Subsidies have to be there because you cannot leave the consumer to the brutal market forces. Somewhere you have to chip in some amount of relief in the form of subsidies so that it stays, the social fabric of the nation is also not damaged. I recall that this this kerosene used to sell at a very low price by purposefully giving lot of subsidies on it, which have now been taken off to a great extent, and the prices are stabilized. As far as LPG also, you have seen that the prices have now the retail prices of selling cylinder for 800 rupees or so. I think it has brought down some kind of a relief. So the government should exercise the balance so that the things do not go out of hand, and the private players are not able to exploit the consumers by raising the prices. Yeah.
Right. Mr. Ravi Srivastava, thank you so much for speaking to us, for enlightening us, and also telling us how this whole system for the fuel procurement, the price, and the energy sector functioning, how it happens. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Pankaj.
Thank you.